Dan here for United People's TV. I'm joined by Chris and Paul from RedMen TV, obviously because Manchester United versus Liverpool is just around the corner. One of the biggest rivalries in sport, let alone football. Lads, first of all, thanks for joining me.
Oh, pleasure.
To talk about, obviously, the Manchester United side of things. Obviously, because we're the better team as well. But first of all, let's talk about the rivalry.
Setting the tone there,
getting it straight in.
It's a quick, sneaky little
straight in. Let's talk about the rivalry.
Yeah.
For me, nothing is comparable to Manchester United versus Liverpool.
I think that's probably more true from United perspective than it is from a Liverpool perspective. Look, I'm not saying it's not. I think this is our biggest rivalry, and this is our most angry, bitter rivalry. Okay. But because I think we've got a greater rivalry with Everton than you have with City.
Okay.
If you take me in on that, like, I think that this is the game that I hate losing both against Everton and against Man United. I think these games tend to mean more just because they tend to be up at a higher part of the league, I guess.
Okay.
But I think for a Liverpool fan's perspective, they're the two. We've got those two fixtures that are absolutely, they're nailed on there. They're the cornerstones of your calendar. Whereas I think it's more true these days with City coming up over the hill.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
just nearly there, but it's not quite to the levels that United Liverpool.
I don't think the rivalry's ever really going to be the same for United City as it is for Liverpool Everton.
Well, we've got an inter-city rivalry.
Well, that's my point, isn't it?
Whereas
London-Manchester rivalries don't really.
I mean, the commute has been cut down dramatically because of the high-speed trains.
You've gone straight
hey,
into.
Listen, you
I started. Okay, so United. So on the United Liverpool rivalry, Chris.
Yeah.
Where does obviously Paul said he looks for obviously the Everton's more.
Okay, both fixtures are huge. I think in the wider sense of it, Man United Liverpool's the biggest fixture in the calendar. I think that's definitely the case. But from a purely personal level, my brother's an Evertonian, so the banter that we have leading up to a derby, you can't replicate that with somebody that you don't know on Twitter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You just can't replicate that. Yeah. The game itself is a bigger game, but for me, on a completely personal level, Everton Liverpool is what I look forward to.
I've enjoyed more Merseyside derbies than I've enjoyed
United
games. That's the
I think that's the difference, isn't it? Because of obviously the success the United side. We enjoy a lot more. I think the memories of recent derbies. Obviously,
I mean, who picked this?
I was on friggin' Sky Sports News doing the fan zone for that.
The red cards, everything. I think recently events like this has kind of helped the rivalry as well. Let's talk about this season then. We said over on your channel that this is probably the most mediocre set of teams that we've both had for about 40 years.
Yes.
We've had probably the same start to the season. Obviously picked up roughly the same amount of points. Yeah. Who, in your opinion, I'm guessing Liverpool, has had the better form.
No, ask the question.
Hey, who's got the who's in the better form at the minute? Would you go with your lads?
I would say your lads only because I think we on paper, to use an old cliche, we should have been beating West Ham in the last game and we got played off the park. Whereas you threw it away against Swansea, but Swansea are a really good team at the moment in really good form.
The team that always troubles us.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
that last five.
Yeah.
So I think there's a strong case to be made that if you were looking to defend the start of the season, it's easier to defend Man United's start of the season than it is to defend Liverpool's to some extent. So I'd say yous are narrowly the form side going into this.
I think Liverpool have got more to prove. I think the way that we tailed off at the back end of the last season, we really need to prove that we're a good side this season. Nobody outside of Liverpool is looking in on Liverpool and thinking they're a danger to the top four, and that's worrying for me.
Yeah,
that's really worrying because nobody thinks we're getting back into the top four. I think we can do it, but I think this game is crucial to that. I think if we can deal Manchester United a psychological blow.
Are you putting that much on the United Liverpool game? You're saying
I think it's a huge game, for both teams. For me, Manchester United and Liverpool are vying for the same spot. Mm-hmm. It's fourth place.
Yeah.
Arsenal vacated it.
An early season blow to
Man fighting over their trophy.
2 defeats back to back. If we can make you have 2 defeats back to back, that's a huge thing for us.
I kind of disagree to some. I think in context, I agree with what you're saying about the most to prove. I think Man United, when you really look at it though, because it's sad to say, but Liverpool, we've fallen from grace, and it's been quite a while since we've done that. And United have got so much to do because Man United should be competing for the title this season. As far as
I think for me, in recent years anyway, you finishing second a couple of seasons ago. I personally, and I'm not saying this, okay, I'm just saying this because United fan, that was very much a great example of a team overachieving with the squad that they had. Personally speaking, I think you finishing second was a shock. It would have been the same thing. And
we took advantage of the circumstances.
Similarly in that season, obviously, United finishing 7th was a shock. But now we are at that same level again, which I think, going into this game, I think that makes it a bit more exciting, because like you said, we are fighting for the same spot.
Yeah.
As much as we say we don't want it, we don't want to be known as the team fighting for 4th. We are. That's the reality of it. Is we're playing for.
But like I say, I think that's the worry for. I say it's a worry for me. It's not a worry for me in the slightest. I think it's absolutely amazing that Man United are looking at 4th place and thinking that's an objective. If Liverpool finished 4th this season, our fans would demand the title challenge, and I don't know where that's gone from Man United. I don't know where it's gone. I
think the effect of Moyes was still trying to get over. If he kind of ruined.
But that's it. I think a lot of blame was thrown on Moyes' feet, and he's a mediocre manager. But I think he was scapegoated spectacularly.
Yeah. Okay.
At the time. So I think, in terms of this, it's massive about teams. We discussed on our show, like, I think if Liverpool lose, there'll be far more questions asked of our manager than the reverse. But that being said, it worries me again, and it doesn't worry me. But if I was from a neutral perspective, if I can put that hat on, that Man United, where are the question marks over Man United's ambition if they're to lose this game? Because like I say, they should be right up there at the top of the table, not just scraping for 4th.
You mentioned obviously the managers. Okay, so you mentioned the managers. I said over on your guys' channel that's where I think most of the blame will go, is the tactics. I think the teams the fans think very similar about both managers, the tactics, picking the wrong teams, and that's the same for the Liverpool fans as well. Do you think both managers have done the best in the transfer window that they could have done with what was available? Because you signed the likes of obviously Danny Ings.
From a Manchester,
came from Burnley.
From a Manchester United point of view, and I'm going to go there first, I think he's done terrible business in this window.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
From a team that has signed Danny Ings.
I think we know where. Look, this is me being a complete.
Yeah, but
straight down the line. Straight down the line, right? We were never going to be competing for those players that you're competing for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You were linked with Muller. You were linked with Pedro.
Neymar.
You should.
Hey,
but these are the players.
Nothing wrong with that one.
These are the players that Manchester United should be signing. This is what it's going back to for Paul. When you're going out and spending whatever it is, £36 million on Martial on the last day, when the players that you've been linked with, Pedro for example, 28 years old, £21.5 million. For me, you've made the wrong signing there. And Manchester United finished 4th. They should be looking a lot higher than a £36 million fucking 18-19.
I think the issue is less about, because I think if you look at it, like, and again, if you go on FIFA ratings, the players we've bought are rubbish. But but this is it. Like you can say Danny Ings all you want, but in terms of the business that we did, you can look at we haven't bought household, worldwide, renowned names. I'd love Bastian Schweinsteiger. I'd love him, terrific player. But we needed to buy attacking players. We've gone and done that.
Yep.
We needed to buy fullbacks. We went out and bought 2 fullbacks. We've largely identified the weaknesses in our squad and gone and filled them. Man United fixed the midfield, which has been a massive, long-standing problem for yous.
Yep.
Which is why Paul Scholes can only come out of retirement so many times. But you've
Sure, Van Hall is about to call him just in case.
It's basically a big red bat phone.
It's
a big ginger bat phone in the office.
He's changed.
As the next one, just next to Beckham on the chance he might just go just one more season. Come on.
But in terms of that, I don't think you've identified. I don't think you've fixed the defence. I don't think you've fixed. Well, centre halves. I think the fact that you've got Daley Blind covering at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't. You wanted Otamendi. You didn't get him.
Yeah.
And then you didn't go out and buy someone else.
Yeah.
You've and in terms of centre forwards and attacking midfield, you've weakened. I think you've weakened your attacking positions, and in letting Januzaj go on loan, you've not replaced.
I agree. I agree with that side. I think letting Januzaj on loan is the most stupid bit of business, but. With the players that we were linked with,
it was exciting. The last 2 summers have been dead exciting. I've looked on jealously at who United have bought.
Yeah.
But the fact is, you've spent ludicrous money, as we have, but for two summers, and yet you still. Do you think
that's the kind of because a lot of Liverpoolers that I've spoken to, it feels like jealous on your part that we are spending that money. Yeah, you might think it's about exciting, but I mean, for me, the players like Bastian Schweinsteiger, you might think are too old for the Premier League or getting on a bit, he still does a job. He is probably the strongest player in the centre.
Look, listen, when you're signing, you signed Angel Di Maria the summer before, we've been tentatively linked with him, and there was Matt Chelsea because he was brilliant. He was far better than, I think. Again, I think he's been scapegoated as well to some extent. Like there is absolutely jealousy because, like I say, I said this on one of our shows. We all want to be able to play our team on FIFA and then be good enough to go head to head online against your Barças and your Reals that all the kids go with. We want our teams to be able to stand up on that because you want to represent your own club, and it's easier when you're buying household names because they come in, they slot in on paper and on Footy Manager and on FIFA and all that. They look amazing, and sometimes that's all people need. Whereas Liverpool, I think, have done more. I've done much more rounded business. I think Man United have gone out and spunk loads of money on big names. Or have you just gone and bought what the squad needs? I'm not sure. Okay.
We'll find out during the rest of the season. We've just had an international break. After both teams lost as well. You guys lost 3-0 to West Ham. We lost 2-1 to Swansea. Do you think it was the right time for the break? Obviously, we're not going into the debate if
there should be no breaks.
No breaks. Okay, but do you think it's come at the right time for both teams to kind of reassess when we come back?
Completely wrong.
And go.
No, the worst thing that could have happened for Liverpool. I just want to play some football.
Yeah, we need after West Ham. You need to go out there. You need to get a win under your belt. You need to just turn that round as soon as you can.
Festa's done it.
Festas. You do not want to send your players away going international duty. Have a good time with the fucking mates away. You need them focused on the next game. You need to take time to drill your players for what is an absolutely huge game against Manchester United, because at the end of the day, the league's more important than international fucking friendlies. I'm sorry about that. That's the way it always will be.
Or even qualifiers, but they're all rubbish, aren't they?
They're all friendlies to me.
I think everybody's kind of, especially when you're a supporter of a bigger team or one of the big teams, you go, come on, because all of our players seem to go out on international duty and come back injured. Or you've got obviously Coutinho is suspended for you lot as well. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's just obviously, it's just a bit of a pointless kind of exercise. Obviously, we want to get into the big tournaments.
The only counterpoint, I guess, from not just Liverpool's perspective, but from management perspective, is that we've seen this issue where teams are struggling at home. Yeah, teams away performances are far stronger than home performances across the board in the Premier League, and there might just be that case that from a manager's perspective, they're able to go in back to the drawing board, sit down with the coaching staff, and go, right, we need a new approach. So that could benefit both Liverpool and United theoretically. If we had to put a counterbalance point to it, I guess that could be the only potential positive out of that.
Okay, so on to the game. You don't have Coutinho, and obviously the bastion of Scouse football, Steven Gerrard, is gone to another land. Who do you look to in your team that's going to be the game changer in a match against Manchester United? Who do you look to and see that person will change it?
It's Dejan Lovren, isn't it?
Dejan Lovren.
It's not Dejan. It is not Dejan Lovren.
He's definitely a game changer.
He's a fucking game
for us.
changer,
I mean, that's who I'm looking forward to seeing.
Go on, who do you reckon?
Piss off. I heard that. He was on the face. Bloody hell. It's Christian Benteke. It's got to be.
Benteke?
It's got to be, and I'll tell you why right now.
Come on.
Because the weakness in your side is David Blind.
Yeah.
And he needs to be able to get up in David Blind's face and fucking bully him. And if Liverpool are going to win, that's how we're going to win.
Benteke?
Yeah, Benteke.
Christian Benteke.
Christian Benteke.
Okay, fair enough. Let's go to then score predictions, Chris. Do you think it's going to be 1-0 Benteke?
I think it's going to be 1-0. And Christian Benteke is going to have a big part to play in the goal.
I can't see it. I don't look at Benteke and I'm not worried when he's on the pitch. I'm not worried at all.
I hope that's also true of the centre-halves. That would be amazing. He's fine.
He's alright, don't worry about it. But honestly, I look at Benteke and it doesn't scare me with the likes of when you had Torres or Suarez. They're the players you want to
kind of goes without saying, I guess.
Well, yeah, it goes without saying, but is that kind of how far your team have fallen?
I don't know how but that's like saying Cristiano Ronaldo's on your side, no, you're not the same fucking side.
Well, it's not, but you're not the same side, but it's very much a weakened, it's not, the fear isn't there.
Yeah, but
the more is the fear of the fixture.
Look, Liverpool, you're right, I get it, and again, we've talked a lot about this, I think the perspective from outside Liverpool, you can look at it, and you can go, well, you are Liverpool, they don't have any genuine established world-class players, but I guess the hope and the story that Liverpool are kind of building up is that we're going to make our own. You know what I mean? Because Liverpool historically don't go out and buy world class.
Okay.
You know, Christian Benteke had a good goal scoring record in the Premier League.
At Villa.
Yeah, at Villa.
At Villa. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Playing in a mediocre side for some mediocre managers as well. And you know, and we've done that in the past. You know, Torres' goal scoring record at a very average Atletico Madrid around that time wasn't sensational. Suarez was amazing, but it was Holland, and we've seen that can go one or two ways. So you know, we made those guys into world class players, and it's up to Liverpool to make Benteke a threat, and he's got it all. He's got everything you need to be. He's potentially the attributes he possesses. He's the most Drogba-like centre forward, I think, since Didier Drogba.
Okay, and what's your score prediction?
I think I went 1-0 on our show, but I'm going to go 4-3.
4-3. It's just going to be one of them games.
Because bollocks to it. That's why.
You know what? On this day, then I am going to go for a 4-0 to Man United. We're going to smash it, and we will remain the bigger club out of the two.
We're not the biggest club, though.
We're almost certainly the biggest club. Why aren't we the biggest club?
5 times.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
come on.
And there'll be people in the comments section going,
you
we were going to say 5 times.
No, but I'm surprised you don't know. It's just like, I'm surprised you go from 5-0.
Listen. In terms of, you've got the biggest stadium.
Yes.
Yeah. You've won more Premier League titles.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is M&M in 8 Mile here.
I know, yeah.
There's nothing which makes Liverpool a bigger club.
We've won
5
more
times.
major trophies than Manchester.
Oh, come on. Yes, but Manchester United.
Yes,
Manchester United are the only team in England to win the Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League, the proper treble. And that's all we've got time for. Thank you very much to the guys from RedMen TV. Go and check all their videos out if you like Scouse bashing, I guess.
Yeah.
And see all the stuff that we've done with them. Also, don't forget to subscribe to United People's TV and follow us on Twitter as well at United People's TV.
Or Twitter. Whatever takes you fancy.
5 times.
Hello, hey! Pay attention to the manager.